So in this problem, we need to determine the value of cosine pi over 12 minus sine pi over 12. For this, we can use the transformation formula, either sine alpha minus sine beta or cosine alpha minus cosine beta. But here we can clearly observe that this in the transformation formula, we need the two functions to be exactly the same. That means we can only take the difference of the sine function or the difference of the cosine function. Meaning in our case, we have the first term as in terms of cosine and the second in terms of sine. So it's not going to work here. However, it's not a big problem. We can convert any one of them to the other function. Meaning if we keep the first term as cosine, then we can convert the second term, the sine pi over 12, to its cosine equivalent. Or we can keep the second term intact as a sine pi over 12, but we can convert the first term to its sine equivalent. So let's try to do that. So here, let's say we have the given function cosine of pi over 12 minus sine of pi over 12. We want to first convert the first term cosine to its sine equivalent. Here we can use the fact that if we have cosine of theta, then this can be also expressed as sine of pi over 2 minus theta. So this means that if we substitute the value of theta with pi over 12, so cosine pi over 12 will be equals to sine of angle pi over 2 minus pi over 12. All we have done is replace the value of theta with pi over 12. Now what's the value of pi over 2 minus pi over 12? So that's simply 5 pi over 12. So which means that cosine pi over 12 is exactly the same as sine 5 pi over 12. So we can substitute it here. So this is number 1. The expression number 1 now changes to sine 5 pi over 12 minus sine, the second term remains the same, pi over 12. Now we can apply the transformation formula, the difference of two sine function. So here we will suppose that let alpha value that be equals to 5 pi over 12. And the beta value, let that be equals to pi over 12 radians. So let's find out alpha plus beta. So we have 5 pi over 12 plus pi over 12, which gives us 6 pi over 12 or equals to pi over 2 radians. We'll try to find out the value of alpha minus beta. So that will be 5 pi over 12 minus pi over 12, which gives us 4 pi over 12 radians or pi over 3 radians. Fine. Now let us use the transformation formula. So we get 2 times cosine of alpha plus beta over 2. So here alpha plus beta we obtained, that's pi over 2 radians, whole divided by 2, multiplied to sine of alpha minus beta, so that's pi over 3 divided by 2. So this gives us the value 2 times cosine of pi over 4 radians multiplied to sine pi over 6 radians. Now these are all standard values. Cosine pi over 4, that's 1 over square root of 2. And cosine of pi over 6, so that's 1/2. The 2 and 2 gets factored out, and that leaves us with the final value 1 over square root of 2. Therefore, we have obtained the value cosine of pi over 12 minus sine pi over 12. So that came out to be 1 over square root of 2. Okay, now what we can do is next you can convert sine to cosine. If you convert sine to cosine and then apply this transformation formula, you should also get the same result. So let's try to do that as well. So we have cosine of pi over 12 minus sine pi over 12. So this is our original problem. We're going to use the fact that sine theta can be expressed in terms of its cosine equivalent as cosine of pi over 2 minus theta. So if we take theta to be equals to pi over 12, then we have cosine of pi over 2 minus pi over 12, which is equals to cosine of 5 pi over 12 radians. Therefore, we have converted the second term, which is sine function, to its equivalent cosine 5, which is 5 pi over 12. Now we can apply the transformation formula, which is the difference of the cosine function. So we'll suppose that alpha is equals to 5 over 12 radians and beta is 5 pi over 12 radians, which immediately gives us alpha plus beta. So that will be equals to pi over 2 radians, and alpha, here we have beta minus alpha. We have beta minus alpha, so that will be equals to pi over 3 radians. So let's plug in the value here. So we're going to get 2 times sine of alpha plus beta, so that's pi over 2. So pi over 2 divided by 2, that's going to be pi over 4 radians. Multiplied to sine pi over 3 over 2, so that's going to be pi over 6. So this also comes out to be 1 over square root of 2. So either way, we get the same result. So this is how we can obtain the value of cosine pi over 12 minus sine pi over 12 radians.